one brave soul over here taking on the Adam Emenecker Challenge today. He's got 4 pounds of meat, 1 pound of fries, and 15 minutes to eat it all. If he finishes it in 3 minutes and 1 second, he wins $10,000.
Hey Chew Crew, I'm here today in Coralville, Iowa at Jethro's Barbecue. And I'm here to take on their Adam Emenecker Challenge. Named after Drake University basketball star Adam Emenecker, this is I'd say motley crew of his favorite things in sandwich form. 4-pound sandwich, pound of waffle fries. The tough part, 15 minutes to get it all down. If I'm successful, I get the meal for free, an awesome t-shirt, and my name goes up on their wall of fame. Should I fail, I'm out about $40 for the meal and I go up on their wall of shame. So you know the drill. Let's go inside and feast.
Time starts now. Cheer him on a little bit.
For all those visual learners out there, I wanted to do something a little special for this challenge. With so many unique components, I wanted to take their existing sandwich design and mark it up as I progress through the challenge. I call it the Jethro-meter. Patent pending. So follow along with my progress as I scratch each one of these delicious components off the list. My strategy for this was pretty similar to how I approach multi-patty burgers. My goal is I really want to get those proteins down, the meats while they're nice and juicy and warm, because cold meat at the end of a challenge is going to be the last thing you want to be chewing. So I figured I'll save the fries till the end. Lukewarm fries are much better than lukewarm meat. The next question is, which meat do you start with? There's like 7 different meats on this sandwich. My thought was the chewiest meats need to go down first, and that's actually where I made a big mistake that I paid for later. My original plan was I was going to go for the brisket first, followed by the hamburger patty with all the bacon, then tackle that pork tenderloin. There's a piece at the top and a piece at the bottom. Then I was going to go after those buffalo tenders because I figured the flavor from the buffalo sauce was really going to amp me up, get me back in the game, and then finish with the cheese. Although if I noticed that the cheese was starting to cool down, probably start going after that just to make sure that I can leverage the gooiness of the cheese to help get those meats down. The brisket was a big question mark. I figured I'd try a little bit of it, see how moist and tender it was. It's a full pound of brisket, so much similar to my other meat challenges, I didn't want to save a whole pound at one point. I wanted to probably break it up, get a little bit of flavor, texture contrast, going back and forth. Last but not least, save the buns and the carb till the end, and then eat that delicious spicy pickle spear at the very end. Now, what's not shown in the Jethro-meter is the pound of fries, and that was the biggest surprise of this challenge. Watching videos of this challenge, they pretty much all had waffle fries. I've seen a few variations where tater tots are used, but never straight cut fries. So when the challenge was brought out to me, I kind of raised an eyebrow and was thinking, gosh, I'd almost prefer waffle fries. I think that the chewiness of straight cut fries, there's more surface area, and that usually means more frying, more of that crispy texture, which I think makes for a nice crunchy fry. When you got a pound of them and you got 15 total minutes on the clock, I think that was making the challenge a little bit more difficult. So my question is, do I go back to Iowa and do the challenge again with waffle fries? And the other big question, what do you prefer, waffle or straight cut? Let me know in the comments.
No money, but he's doing a good job over here.
Keep going, come on, keep going, let's go.
Allow me to elucidate here. In addition to getting a free t-shirt and a free meal and the wall of fame for winning the challenge,
there's a kicker. Across all the locations that Jethro has, there is a world record time. Anyone that beats the world record gets $10,000. The problem,
Molly Schuyler completed this challenge in 3 minutes, 1 second. If you have that much time to spare, I highly recommend watching the video. It's absolutely incredible. With the world record and $10,000 now out of reach, I still had my sights set on completing the challenge in 15 minutes, but there was one other time that I was looking to beat. At this location, only one other person has completed it. They go by the name of Bandana Eats. I'll put a link to his channel in the description below. He was able to complete the challenge in 14 minutes, 36 seconds. So even if I couldn't beat Molly's time, I definitely wanted to try to break the house record and get under 14:36. So I'll throw that timer up as well. With about 1/3 of my time already used up and only a few items scratched off the Jethro-meter, I really had to start picking up the pace if I thought I was going to get anywhere close to finishing this sandwich, much less that mound of fries that was still on my plate. Looking at my progress so far, I'm really all over the map compared to what my original strategy was. And to be honest, I'd say I was more distracted than a cat in a laser pointer factory. I wanted to keep bouncing between the different flavors. They were all very unique, and I kept going back to that buffalo chicken tenders, and those ended up being the first two things I really finished off after that brisket. Fortunately, the bacon was still pretty warm after 5 minutes, but I definitely needed some mustard to help get it down. Now we're cooking with gas. That was the top tenderloin that went down, which was delicious. It had the cheese cubes on it, and that really helped make it go down easy. And here's where I made a mistake. I finished one pork tenderloin and dove right into the next one. With it being on the bottom, it was still nice and soft. The breading was starting to soak up all the juices and the cheese sauce that had covered the entire sandwich. I really should have started tackling that cheeseburger patty, which I'd taken the cheese off of it, I'd taken the bacon off. So now you're just dealing with a beef patty that's been sitting for 6 minutes now, starting to get dry. And you can see I'm really using that mustard to help. And I broke another rule and started bouncing over to the fries. So I was saying, gosh, what do I want to eat least? Cold fries or a cold burger? At that point, it was time to bring out the big guns. I reached for some Diet Pepsi, and that was a real help getting some of that carbonation. The fizziness of it really helped stir up my stomach, get some of those air bubbles out that had been starting to build. It was right about this point I was starting to do some math, looking at the clock and getting a bit concerned. In my head, my goal was I wanted to get the sandwich down in 7 minutes. I wanted to get the fries down in the remaining 7 minutes, and then give myself about a minute of buffer. Doing the math, I've got about 15 seconds to get the rest of this burger down, and I'm behind schedule. I did nibble on a few of the fries, but I could definitely tell I was slowing down at this point. So to make up for that, we're going to speed up the pace of this video. And speaking of speeding things up, stay tuned for next week's video. You think 15 minutes was fast for this challenge? You're not going to believe the time limit I had for this next one. So if you don't want to set a reminder on your phone, click the subscribe button to get a notification when that video comes out. You know things are looking bleak when I have to bust out the ketchup. Jethro's does carry a line of signature sauces. I was able to sample all of them before the challenge. They definitely range from more of that vinegary North Carolina mustard to more of that sweet and tangy Kansas City barbecue. But I decided at this point in the challenge, the meats were really tender all the way through the sandwich. I really didn't even need them. So with a pile of fries left, I figured the only thing that can scratch this itch is ketchup. All saucy jokes aside, I will shut my mouth now and allow you to watch the last few minutes of me opening and shutting my mouth.
Come on. You better not do it. You better not charge him for this.
I need a bath. Can I take a picture?
Yeah, nice.
Oh yeah, they're asking where they watch the video.
Charlie and the Chew Crew. Well, it ain't $10,000, but I feel like $1 million. It's awesome setting the new house record at 13 minutes 51 seconds. The cheering and the enthusiasm I kept getting felt as probably as close to a rock star as I'll probably ever get. The staff was overwhelmingly supportive. So I got to walk away with a free meal, an awesome t-shirt, and the second person to end up on this location's Wall of Fame. So overall, excellent experience. Till next time, stay hungry.